right, welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies might have inspired it. And today on the show, we are talking about The Mandalorian and Grogu. We are live at Maya Cinemas. We had a great live show over there with guests Danny Chandia, Ashley Jade, and Chase Gifford. Really fun time talking about this one. As we'll get into, I'm not really a Star Wars guy, but how could you not do a live show on a Star Wars? I wasn't doing the live shows back when the last Star Wars movie came out. So, we had to at least try doing one of these, even if looking at the box office reports, it doesn't look like this one's doing too well. But that being said, it is Star Wars, and people do get super excited about these movies. So I had to do a live show on a Star Wars. And here we are to talk about The Mandalorian and Grogu. So that's coming up in a second. Before we get to it, I do want to remind you, as always, to make sure you are subscribed to Piecing It Together wherever you listen to podcasts. We got a lot more episodes on the way. So get subscribed. You'll find out about all of them as they come out. And also follow us on social media at Piecing Pod to find out everything that's going on with Piecing It Together, including more live shows like next week's Backrooms at Galaxy Theaters Boulevard Mall. You could go to piecingpod.com to get more info about that. And now let's talk about The Mandalorian and Grogu. All right, I'm David Rosen, the host of the Piecing It Together podcast. We're going to get into The Mandalorian and Grogu, but first, I want to introduce my panel. So let's introduce everybody. First up, Danny, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hey, everybody. I'm Danny Chandia. I'm the co-founder of Desert Cactus Films, a local production company here in Las Vegas that specializes in visual effects and fun music video type stuff.
Absolutely. Ashley, how about you?
Hi, I'm Ash Jade, and I am a filmmaker, singer, songwriter, actor, director. Have my own production company, Weird Rabbit Productions, that specializes in horror, sci-fi, fantasy, and I am a massive Star Wars fan. My dog Obi-Wan Kenobi could not be here today.
I was hoping
but usually Obi-Wan is literally wherever I go. He is my only hope, so happy to be here.
Awesome. And Chase, introduce yourself.
I'm Chase Gifford. I've been a critic since 2013. I write for nerdalert.world, Vegas local. I love Star Wars, just like the rest of you.
Right on. And all second-time guests on the show. So thanks, everybody, for coming back on the show. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, so I'm probably going to let you guys carry most of this. So I'm going to go in the crowd and listen to you guys talk. No, I had more fun with this than I was expecting to be honest, because I have not watched the show. I maybe saw each movie once, over the last 30 years. It's just not necessarily my thing, but obviously people love these movies, and you guys are all major fans, so I'm glad to have you all on this panel. Go through one more time through here. I want to hear your kind of history with Star Wars before we start getting into the whole puzzle pieces thing.
Well, I think like so many filmmakers, I would say I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it weren't for Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was one of the first franchises that I fell in love with that got me curious about how movies are made.
Mm-hmm.
And learning about George Lucas then, of course, led me to learning about Spielberg. And, I mean, the rest is history. So Star Wars was like a formative, series for me, for sure.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. How about you, Ashley?
It's hard to follow that. Star Wars was not incredibly formative to me in the way that you would imagine. So I grew up in a Star Trek family, but I was not a Trekkie. I was not a Trekkie. I was not even into sci-fi at all. And it wasn't until refusing to watch Star Wars my entire life because of the stigma growing up. Oh, nerdy. And I'm like,
Yeah.
But during COVID, I'd actually, a friend of mine had mentioned Star Wars. I had seen episode 4, 5, and 6. I'd wanted to see episode 1, 2, and 3. Watched 4, 5, and 6, then watched 1, 2, and 3. Immediately watched 4, 5, and 6, then watched the Clone Wars, then watched Rebels. Became a massive,
You went through it.
massive fan. And episode 7 is actually the reason why I'm an actor, because of Rey's character. I'll never forget it. I was in the cinema. I was a musician up until that point my whole entire life. Credits rolled. Everybody left. I was just sitting there. Empty theater. My best friend was sitting next to me, and I said, I can do that. He's like, what do you mean? And I said, no, I can do that. That I can do. And I called the only friend I knew that was an actor at that time, and Nick Marini. Shout out Nick. He introduced me to his acting coach, Joshua Baton, and enrolled myself in a 3-year Meisner program.
Nice.
And that was it. So Star Wars changed my life in so many ways.
I love these Star Wars stories. This is amazing. Let's go to you, Chase. How about you?
Well, I have a friend who grew up with the originals, so it was sort of what he grew up on. And then I had a very similar experience. I was 10 years old when the prequels came out. So it was a very formative experience for me. And of course that led to, like he said, Spielberg and discovering who they are. And she said it too. I was a Trekkie because of my dad.
Yeah.
But he also let me, watch Star Wars too. He wasn't too religious about it, but I grew up with these. I remember seeing the re-releases because I never got to see the originals. Obviously, not quite that old, but I love these movies.
Right on. Well, we're going to get into the movie, and for those who have not been to a Piecing It Together show before, what we do is we talk about a movie through the lens of what movies might have inspired it, and we call those puzzle pieces, and we'll go through a few rounds of puzzle pieces here. It's weird to do. This is the first time we've done a live show on a Star Wars movie. I mean, it's been a little while since we've had a original Star Wars movie in the theaters, and so it's a little weird because it's kind of an insular world where it's like it's more Star Wars over and over again. So it's a little bit tough. But parallel to Star Wars, we've got Marvel, and the whole world of Star Wars is a cinematic world. It's movies is what we normally think of. Then it went, because of the whole Disney Plus thing, to television. And then we're getting follow-ups to that in the theater. So I'm going to go with The Falcon and the Winter Soldier as my first puzzle piece here. I feel like the idea of going back and forth between the scope of what these things can be and changing that back and forth, it's kind of a risky proposition. And we're seeing this on Thursday night. The movie technically opens tomorrow. We'll be seeing how this does this weekend. I wonder if the whole streaming thing will backfire on this in a way where people are like, well, it's just Mandalorian. I'll just watch it once it hits Disney Plus. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, thankfully we're at Maya Cinemas. Thank you, Maya Cinemas, for having us out, watching this on the big screen, in a movie theater. But it's a tough thing, though. But obviously, story-wise, they're very different. Although I would say they're both kind of, taking the whole sci-fi world of Star Wars and kind of interjecting it through some very specific genre tropes, which maybe we'll get into in some of our future puzzle pieces here. But so there are some more specific parallels with something like The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is like a 70s, paranoia spy thriller kind of thing. But specifically, though, I'm pointing to the way that this movie came to be as something that's like going back and forth between the worlds of movie, TV, and then back again. So, Ashley, I saw you kind of react to that one. Is that something you were thinking about as well?
No, well, not specifically that, but it was giving Marvel. It was giving Marvel. Yeah. And as much as I was trying to not lean into that, it really was. It's not one of my puzzle pieces unless you guys steal mine, however, but it is not one of my puzzle pieces.
All right, cool. Well, Danny, let's go to one from you.
Well, I see where you're coming from because, I do think that everything kind of that falls under the Disney banner now does have that same kind of feel or the same approach. My first puzzle piece that I was coming in with, and it kind of was reaffirmed, and also, I've watched the show. It's this movie called Shogun Assassin from 1980. It is a mashup of two other movies that came out earlier in Japan. The Lone Wolf and Cub series. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Sure.
The Shogun Assassin version is basically, it's the first two movies just cut together and very fast paced, and so you get all your villains crammed into one film, and it's the same kind of trope. It's like a stoic Ronin character wandering the countryside with his young son, who he pushes around in a cart. Is very Grogu-esque. And the cart has hidden, knives and things on it, so whenever they get attacked, the kid can kind of help out. So I think that trope, it's been done in so many other movies too, and in so many different genres. But I don't know. I feel like I'm sure that's probably a big part of why Jon Favreau wanted to do this in the first place, was because it is like a throwback to samurai films and westerns.
And it's a callback to those being what influenced George Lucas in the first place for all of these things. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And I haven't actually seen that, but I mean, the way you describe it, I feel like there's probably a lot of direct influence right there.
For sure. It's fun.
Yeah, right on. Cool. Yeah. Well, Ashley, let's go to one from you.
Good call out.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. I always get so excited that at least one of mine hasn't been chosen. It's kind of a little bit of a cop-out. I did see the show on telly, and when I watched it, I didn't get this influence. But watching the film in cinema, there was something specific about the character arc and the journeys that they went on in this particular segment of The Mandalorian and Grogu, and it was The Professional, Beyond the Professional. I cried so much watching this, and the only other Star Wars film I cried watching was Obi-Wan Kenobi, when Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker reunite for the first time and have that conversation post Vader. And it was such an emotional journey watching this, because I feel so strongly connected to the Mandalorian's journey, especially having watched the first season, and when he meets Grogu and there's that reluctance to even care about this little thing that's kind of a bother. It's like, I have to take care of this thing. I'm a badass bounty hunter. This is a problem. And just to see him in this, and then see Grogu coming into his own, it was so emotional. And then I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but halfway through, I'm like, please don't do this to me. I can't. Please, somebody do something. And I was just weeping as I sat there by myself with my popcorn and jalapenos. So yes, I would say, Beyond the Professional, I got a lot of that love and relationship and growth and, preliminary reluctance, and then that beautiful relationship and that paternal instinct just inescapably kicks in. And I just found myself so moved by this. Shockingly.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be so obsessed with this film. So I'm really grateful.
Well, I don't want to ruin any of that, because that's wonderful. But for me, because I hadn't seen the show, I didn't have that build up. So I was watching this movie, and like I said, I enjoyed it a lot more than I was expecting to. Like, the action sequences were fun, and there were some funny moments and all that. But I kept asking myself, like, is this about anything like whatsoever? And so I think maybe if you get that overall arc with the show, maybe it is about something, that like the catharsis of like seeing them like finally get to this moment. But for me, getting thrown in the middle, I'm like, what's going on here? Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. It's definitely, I think as a fan, you get a lot more out of this, I'm sure. So yeah, but Professional is awesome. Yeah. So great movie.
Good.
Let's go to you over there, Chase.
So my first puzzle piece was kind of sticking in the Disney realm, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Specifically Temple of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Very much the relationship between Dr. Jones and Short Round.
Yeah.
And how Grogu kind of has his moments where he's kind of a nuisance, but he also comes in clutch when he needs to.
Sure.
Short Round kind of has that place in Dr. Jones's life. He's kind of a risk, but he's a necessary risk, and he's a necessary force to sort of round out who Dr. Jones is. He's this hardened, character, and Short Round sort of dulls that edge, I guess. And
sure,
Grogu's very much the same with the Mandalorian.
Absolutely. I'm just going to jump right on top of that, because I was thinking about Indiana Jones, and I was debating, am I going to go Indiana Jones or James Bond for my next puzzle piece? So I'll use James Bond, but like kind of similar reasons, like as far as like these stories that kind of squeeze everything in. They're action movies, they're comedies, they're gangster movies at times, they're dramas, they go into like Wild West kind of situations. Like everything can be kind of mixed into the pot depending on what they want to do from scene to scene. This movie has quite a few action sequences, and each one is kind of a totally different genre in a way, almost like a different action genre, which is something you'll see throughout the vast history of James Bond and of Indiana Jones. Like every single one kind of
takes in everything from every different kind of action movie. So I love that you brought in Indiana Jones, and I'll throw James Bond on there, and I think you get like kind of that mixing pot of everything action between those two things. So let's go to you.
Yeah, well, and I think we can keep going with this trope of like, child and a protector. Logan from 2017, another example of like, a very kind of like gruff older man having to take care of a kid who is in that film also like incredibly powerful, right? And like has mutant powers and all of that, and like you said, can come in clutch when the task calls for it. I don't know. I think Logan does a really good job of giving us, I think, an arc for those characters. Whereas here, I can see where it would be you'd feel a little bit lost coming into it, not having seen the show.
Yeah.
This doesn't, to me, it doesn't have a lot of work to do because so much of that work's already been done in the show.
Right.
So you're kind of arriving with them pretty fully formed and established in their relationship. And it does feel like another episode, like an extended episode. That would be my other pick.
No, absolutely a good one here. And to the idea of it being an extended episode, I wonder if this was like a season
It was,
and they decided to make a
originally.
movie so they can maybe make some money off of it instead of just putting it out there for.
Well, like there's significant things that if you've never seen the show, like when he gets his ship, if you've never seen the series, that didn't mean anything.
No, not at all.
His ship blows up in the series,
Oh,
and he
wow.
loved that ship.
Yeah.
And so he's been trying to get one just like it. So when she gave that to him, that was a big moment for him.
But now you're gonna go home
I'm
and
crying
binge
inside right now.
watch
Yeah,
all
so-
of the seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Not going to happen. Ashley, let's go to another one right there.
So I love that you guys have mentioned a number of different genres hodgepodged into this type of film, because something that really, really, there were multiple films that I was toggling while I was watching this film because it's so cross genre and every world that they visited. And that's actually what I love about The Mandalorian so much, because despite it being in the Star Wars world and universe, it often feels removed from it. You don't have the lightsabers. You don't have the Force. Traditionally, this I was like, the Force, like, oh my God, Grogu, what are you doing? So it was just so cool to see. But that's not something you traditionally are seeing in The Mandalorian in his character. So I loved, and forgive me, I can't recall the name of the planet they visited to go get Raha, but when they went there,
Rada the Hutt?
Rada the Hutt, yeah. When they went to go get him, to rescue
It
him.
was kind of like a city type planet, almost
Yeah,
like
that's-
Coruscant. Sort of.
It was giving
don't
Blade Runner.
Yes.
And I can't
yeah.
believe
Yeah.
he didn't. The moment and the score,
I got a lot of those moments in the series
like
too.
90s throwback, like let's go with the score. It was so removed from Star Wars. For a
Yeah.
moment there, I'm like, where are we?
I'm
Like,
totally with you on
where
that.
are
too.
we? And this is gorgeous and so fresh
Yeah.
and so fun. And I never really knew what was going to happen. But Blade Runner, huge fan of Blade Runner. And I thought that this was a huge tip to, especially that particular planet.
Totally.
I thought I enjoyed that so much. I kind of wanted to live there, go visit, sightsee,
Yeah.
learn more about the characters. And I love the Martin Scorsese
Of course. Yeah,
appearance
that was one
there.
Of the best parts of the movie.
Best part
Yeah.
hearing Marty all just being a little rat,
Yeah.
But that was very fun for me. So that was my piece.
Marty should do more stuff like
He
that.
sure
That would be-
should.
That would be a lot of fun. But
sure
yeah, definitely Blade Runner. And to that score, like Ludwig Göransson, one of the best composers working right now, and the score was fantastic. But
It was
also,
so much better than the series. I
It-
thought,
well,
this
and-
time.
and it does-
I liked
so
it a
much
lot
better.
more.
It was so
yeah,
much
it's such
better.
a great score. I thought it was weird though. It does, like you were saying, like it's not like Star Wars. It's like taking you in a different place, and like I don't know if that's the right approach or not. But regardless, it was great music, and it definitely felt like something different from anything you've heard in any of these movies before. But yeah, and of course the score for Blade Runner 2049, like one of
Like-
ultimate scores of the last 20, 30
Yeah,
years. So,
seriously.
Yeah. So let's go to another one over there, Chase.
I was trying to think of a specific one, but it's sort of the era of Clint Eastwood,
Yeah.
The Man with No Name, all that.
Yeah.
How he would just come into a town when he's not familiar with, sort of almost cause trouble, but also sort of talking about that reluctance again. He was the reluctant hero. He would save the town even though he didn't want to. And that was sort of what Mandalorian was through many of the episodes. He would go to a planet. He needed something from them. They needed his help first, so he would help them, and he would get what he needed and he'd go to the next one.
Yeah.
It was just that sort of that premise over and over again.
Yeah, he's also like that stoic character that like, you know, it doesn't really let anybody in, and like he's like totally guarding and all that stuff. And yeah, I think like I said, I haven't really watched the show, but what I've seen of the show, like that clearly seems to be an influence on the show itself. And definitely, I think you
Well,
get some of
it
that
reminds
here
me too. I forget which one it is, but it's when he does the duel with Clint Eastwood, and he gets shot, but he has the armor plate on.
Yeah,
I forget which one that
Fistful of
is.
Dollars.
it's Fistful of Dollars, right? Yeah.
And sort of just reminded me of his armor. His armor is very significant throughout the series. How he earns it, how it gets, I don't know what the word is, but made, I guess. It's very significant to his character, and so
Absolutely.
I just remember that. Yeah.
Totally. Good stuff there. And definitely, I think goes really well with just the overall, series here. So I'll go to Grogu and also those other little guys. We saw them in the trailers before the movie. I'm going with the Minions for all their little like kind of gibberishy talk and all that stuff. Those little
the
guys.
minions annoy the hell out of me.
Yeah, I know. Well, they were chatting up a storm in this movie too, those little guys. So definitely got a little bit of that in there, and that's again, I mean, it is a Disney movie after all, so we gotta. I mean, that's Illumination, but still, we gotta sell some toys. So you know, that's what it all comes down to. But Minions. Let's go to one more here.
Well, I'm so glad that you mentioned the Clint Eastwood Man with No Name trilogy, because that was one of my pieces too. Was for a few dollars more, because these bounty hunters, you know, it's interesting. Like in a lot of the westerns that you'll see that he did, they take place in like post Civil War, America, and so this is like right after the Empire has fallen. So it's also like the galaxy is in a state of like reformation.
Yeah.
So I guess another one that I would say then, just to draw attention to it, because I feel like not enough people saw this movie, is The Creator from 2023.
I love that one.
Good one.
That movie was awesome. Maybe there were some third act issues, but the production design and just the cool like sci-fi concepts that it was playing with. I mean, I loved that movie. I thought that movie just people totally slept on it, and more people need to go watch it if they haven't seen it.
No, absolutely. Wasn't that the director of Rogue One?
Yes.
I believe. Yeah. So definitely got a tie in there, but yeah, definitely the vibe of the whole thing. It definitely does kind of feel like that, and this movie, it has like a specific look to it that, like, I don't know, is it carried over from the show, or did they kind of change things up for the movie? What would you guys say?
It felt a little darker, that's for sure.
Darker.
And
Yeah.
it felt honestly quite elevated. It felt like it had been modified for screen
To make it an actual movie.
To be honest,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger sets for sure.
Yeah. Well, definitely.
I don't think they were living on the volume for this
No.
one. Maybe,
No.
but I
Hopefully
think
for some of it.
Yeah,
like a little bit outside of the volume. For
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, let's go to one more from you, Ashley.
Oh my goodness, this is so difficult. Okay, so I have to, but it's kind of silly. It's very silly. But it's to the little guys,
Yeah.
because the little guys, I thought were they could have been a nightmare in my opinion, because we saw a terrible instance in episode 1 where people didn't like the characters or the voicings.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And we shall not speak of. However, I was obsessed with them, and what I kept thinking of was Men in Black.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And the
Those
little
cigarette
the little
smoking-
cigarette smoking guys that just are just talking shit the whole, and they're like, and it's also a little bit of a throwback to, if you watch the Clone Wars, the droids in the Clone Wars. Very cheeky, very vocal, very kind of like slapsticky. And I thought that they were so cute and so fun, and I loved them so much. And I also was getting the labyrinth so much from just the way that the puppeteering was. And I don't know if they were animatronic or if they were puppeted. I didn't look too much into that. Thought Grogu was very cute, but he's an animatronic. He did the red carpet a couple of days ago. But yeah, I saw the labyrinth and very much Men in Black. They were very fun.
Yeah, that's all great. And then I was also thinking Gremlins, like for that same idea, for the way these characters are kind of puppeted and like how they're like meant to like just be all kind of troublesome and goofy and weird and everything. So yeah, very fun stuff all around there. One more from you, Chase.
I felt like there was a real obvious effort to have, state-of-the-art computer-generated imagery, but I really appreciated there felt like there was some callbacks to the old school, specifically with those two big guards that were guarding the huts.
Oh, yeah.
It almost looked like they were stop motion a little bit. There was a little, I don't know how to describe it, but there wasn't a smoothness there, but it looked intent, like on purpose. And it felt like a callback to the originals.
I think so too. Yeah, I think they were definitely, whether it was done practically or not, I think they were at least trying to make it look that way. And yeah, I hope it's practical. But I mean,
in terms of another puzzle piece, I mean, I had Blade Runner in my head the whole time. I got that from
your
the
shirt.
Yeah,
it's my favorite movie of all time.
There you go.
I was like cornering your shirt, and I'm like, is he gonna say? Are you gonna?
It's my favorite movie of all
Runner?
time.
Oh yeah.
But there was a specific episode in the series that focuses on rehabilitating the former Empire employees.
Oh, okay.
And it focuses on the scientist who was trying to get blood from Grogu to make clones. And it focuses heavily on him trying to, relearn how to live. He was always under the rule of the Empire. And there were so many shots that were just ripped straight from Blade Runner. He even has an overcoat just like Deckard did, and I mean, it's exactly like Blade Runner in so many ways.
Right.
Specifically cinematography.
Yeah.
The color hues, it's ripped straight from it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, I do want to open it up to the floor, see if we have any puzzle pieces out here. Did anybody think of anything that we haven't brought up yet? Did anybody have anyone right here?
Well, I haven't done any research, but maybe some of you people know. I'm just thinking maybe Jon Favreau was influenced by Guardians of the Galaxy and Groot and then Baby Groot. Since Groot and Guardians was a comic book, I see where the movie came from, but with this Mandalorian being a new thing created, I'm just curious if Favreau had that in his mind, like, oh, I didn't realize I was sort of borrowing that from Guardians.
Yeah, and I mean that kind of goes back to that whole like parallel line between all of the Marvel and the Star Wars stuff. But Chase, do you know with like any of the stuff that you're into? Is there any like reference to that of Grogu being influenced by Guardians of the Galaxy in any way, or
not that I've heard?
Not that you've heard of any.
I just felt like it was a continuation of that tradition that's been in Star Wars, where you have these characters that they don't ever translate it. Their translation is through another character that just somehow understands them.
Oh yeah, I guess you get that in the original.
They did it with
R2.
R2. They did it with Chewie.
Yeah.
They did it because Han understood everything that Chewie was saying, but they never translated for him.
Yeah. So I guess that is something that we've been seeing since the beginning of these movies. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. There you go. Right on. Right here.
This is kind of off a little bit. Maybe you'll agree with me, maybe you won't. But Cabin in the Woods, when the monsters get out.
Okay.
And then you've got all the ones that are fighting. All of a sudden, they're able to get out.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's my
That was the other one I was thinking. It was Gladiator.
Yes, 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 yes,
With
yes.
that whole sequence.
I knew I
yeah.
had one stuck in there and I
Yes.
couldn't think of it.
But I love that you brought up Cabin in the Woods, though, because I mean, it's such mayhem in that sequence. It's funny. I was thinking of Cabin in the Woods, but not for that reason. I was thinking about it as one of these like multiple genre kind of movies, like when I brought up Bond and brought up Indiana Jones, but like another movie that like really just like mixes up every possible genre once you like get into all the craziness going down. But yeah, no, that whole sequence though, definitely some Gladiator in there as well. I was thinking of John Carter, which is a movie I like and most people
I did
do not
too.
like.
That's so weird. Yeah,
There you
exactly.
go. A little bit of that too.
A little bit of that.
Anybody else out here have anything for us before we get into some closing thoughts? Anybody going once? All right.
Just one more.
Sure.
I mean, I can't even figure out how to describe this music cue, but it's in the TV show and it's in the film. It's like, I don't think Twilight Zone is in the public domain yet, but there is a music cue. You know how Twilight Zone, the original, it reuses those cues in every single episode. And it sounds exactly like it. This one music cue I'm talking about, but I can't tell you what scenes it's in. It's just, I grew up with Twilight Zone, so I'm like, man, that is a lift from Twilight Zone.
I mean, it's certainly possible.
It's one of the like, it's just a couple, 2, 3, 4 bars, but it's like a real sort of mysterious, like what's going on kind of sound. Anyway, maybe if you watch some of the episodes, you'll see what I'm talking about.
For sure. Did Ludwig do any work on this series? Do we know? Or
I don't know. I did notice. It didn't feel like his theme music was as prevalent in this as it was in the series.
Agreed.
Because pretty much every time he walked into a room, it was the Mandalorian. It had his music going. It was what instrument would you call that?
It's some kind of like a pan
A flute
or
of
something.
some
yeah,
kind?
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I didn't notice it as much in this one.
This had some,
Although I really enjoyed the music in this, I didn't notice that.
This had much more electronic kind of stuff going on too, like with the little trip hop beats and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
The
was.
synth and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of synth, a lot of 80s.
Yeah, they
90s
tried all kinds
throwback.
of different things in this. Again, that goes to like the mix of genres and everything that they're really trying to like play with here. So I think that's certainly intentional. But
I think this is just like a test, I was just reading that they're trying to, any further stories involving him will be on the big screen.
Interesting.
all right,
So
that'd be cool.
I'm actually pretty happy. I got rid of my Disney Plus subscription. I did. But I traditionally wait until it goes on to streaming.
Yeah.
If you're out there listening, don't wait.
Yeah.
Come see this in the cinema because it could not possibly be as good at home as it is in this room. So
Yeah.
I encourage everybody to go see it in the cinema. Enjoy it.
100%. What about you, Danny? Any closing thoughts on this one?
Star Wars fans out there might notice in the arena battle scene, some of those creatures, I recognize them from Han Solo's holographic chess table.
Oh my God.
In the New Hope, and I was like, oh, I know those monsters, and it's great to see them full size now, like beating each other up. I think the sheer number of fights that you have with creatures in this does make it feel more like classic Star Wars. That was kind of one of the things that you could tell your original trilogy films apart with, was like one had the Rancor, one had the trash compactor, monster. And I don't know, I think the sequel trilogy that Disney did kind of lost that. I don't remember the creatures being as memorable.
it became
in
so
that.
serious in the end.
Yeah.
So serious.
And then it's interesting because the one thing I do remember from episode 9 was the little mechanic creature, that species that makes a return here. So it's like we're getting a crossover between Rise of Skywalker and now The Mandalorian, with our cute little puppeted creatures, all like teaming up together. And I suppose that's probably a studio mandate, like you said, they got to sell toys. But I appreciate that they're not completely sweeping their sequel trilogy under the rug, even if they did make plenty of mistakes with it. They are still kind of branding their own sort of Star Wars universe now.
they should just sweep the third one under the rug. But anyway, Chase, let's go to you. Any closing thoughts here?
I mean, I think you can go in blind and still find enjoyment in it, but I would highly recommend, if you haven't seen the series, to watch it. I hadn't seen it. I watched it all the way through the last 2 weeks. That's all I've been doing every night.
Nice.
Also, it was recommended, and I did it. Watch episodes 5, 6, and 7 of the Book of Boba Fett, because it ties in to this series as well. So I definitely recommend checking that out.
Right on.
Homework.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up here. Let's get into some plugs. Danny, where can people find you, and what are you up to right now?
We're still on the festival circuit with our last short film called Margaret the Brave. I'm actually going out to Colorado tomorrow to show it there. I'm writing a feature script, and I'm also possibly maybe doing a short next. In the meantime, because the feature is just such a big undertaking. But check out Margaret the Brave, and check out our Instagram, Desert Cactus Films, you can see all our work there. So.
Awesome. How about you, Ashley?
I'm almost certain that Margaret the Brave is an award-winning film.
Yes, it is.
It is, yes, because I loved that film. It's so cool that it's your film. So super cool. So last time I was on the podcast, I was in pre-production for a feature.
Yeah, you shot that quick. I was going to say.
We just wrapped the feature, then I went in to shoot a short film, and then now I'm in pre-production for another short, and I'm shooting 2 proof of concepts for features for 2027. So I'm taking a break during the summer. It's too hot. I think I'm going to go on a holiday while I finish writing and wrapping up scripts and getting things in pre-production for when it gets cooler and we can start shooting. I'm on Ashley Jade Music on Instagram. Come find me. Come say hello. And I'm always looking for filmmakers, collaborators, musicians, friends. I love collaborating. I think that it takes a village to make a film. And I love meeting with people and learning about their ideas and crossing genres and blending and, just doing it for the art and getting people in a cinema, please. So thanks for having me. It's been great.
Absolutely. How about you, Chase?
Not doing anything that cool, but writing for Nerd Alert, doing a podcast every Sunday with my other nerds. It's on YouTube. If you want to listen to 4 dorks talk about the nerdiest things you've ever thought of.
I mean, that's what they're here for right
Count
now.
Me in.
So.
Count me in. What's the YouTube channel?
Nerdalert.world.
Awesome.
Just give each other crap and talk about nerd stuff, and
Beautiful. That's what we all love. So 100%. Well, I want to thank Maya Cinemas for having us out. We will be back here for Disclosure Day next month. And we will also be next week at Galaxy Theaters Boulevard Mall for Backrooms. That's next Thursday, the 28th of May. So come on out and hang out with us for that one. And everybody, thank you so much for being here today. That's our show.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Hi, this is Wax Trax Records here on 2909 South Decatur. We buy all your old 45s, your old albums, any type of music memorabilia. Also, we sell music memorabilia, albums, CDs, and a lot. Come on down to Wax Trax, 2909 South Decatur, or give me a call at 702-362-4300. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation about the Mandalorian and Grogu. Thank you to my guests, Danny Chandia, Ashley Jade, and Chase Gifford. Thank you to Maya Cinemas for having us out. And thanks to everyone who showed up to Maya Cinemas for the live show. Of course, thank you to you for listening. If you're enjoying Piecing It Together, you can follow us on social media at Piecing Pod. Join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces, where we continue the conversation about all the movies we talk about here on the show. Also, check out piecingpod.com, where you can sign up for the mailing list and enter to win tickets for our next shows, whatever is coming up next. Well, when this one goes up, we'll have Backrooms is coming up this coming Thursday at Galaxy Theaters Boulevard Mall. It'll be too late to win tickets for that one, but you can get info on how to buy some tickets and come out and watch the movie with us and take part in a live show. But we'll be announcing another one that you can win tickets for very soon. But, yeah, thanks for being out there and listening. Really appreciate you all. It's time to close this one out with a piece of music like I always do. And I feel like the Pup Pups would fit here because of Grogu and his cute little goofy weirdness. Yeah, let's play a Pup Pup song to close out today's episode. I'm sure I have something very Star Wars, action adventure sci-fi kind of music too that I could have played, but nah, we'll go with Pup Pups. Let's see, what should I play? All right, I'm going to go with a song from our latest Pup Pups album, Pup Pup Radio. Grogu was always, like I said, I never watched the show, so I don't really know much about Baby Yoda, but I know that he's always trying to get his hands on snacks, it seems like. And so I'm going to go with a song from our dog Harvey. Rest in peace. We love him. The best dog that ever will be. But he's got a song called What Do You Do, which is all about, what do you do when you want another snack and you just can't get it for yourself? Well, Grogu would use his Jedi mind tricks to make it float over to him, but Harvey would just have to bark at us and make us get it for him. But anyway, this is What Do You Do? Hope you enjoy it, and we'll be back with more Piecing It Together real soon.
What do you do when you want another snack and you can't get it for yourself? You need some help. Would you help me? Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I love you, yes I do. But there's something that I want you to know it's true. I want snacks and I need some help. You know I can't get them for myself. They're over there on the counter in that tub, and you know that I really can't get enough. What do you do when you want another snack and you can't get it for yourself? You need some help. Would you help me? Oh yeah. They're so crunchy and nummy, and I want them in my tummy. And if you really love me, you will get them in a hurry. I'm your buddy, and yeah, we make each other happy. But if you knew it was good for you, you'd go and make it snappy. I need them snackos, I need them really fast. So come on, mom and dad, get up off your ass. What do you do when you want another snack and you can't get it for yourself? You need some help. Would you help me?
All right, mister, I'm coming.
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.